Speaking of Carl, speaking of my pal Carl, my co-host on Who Are These Socials, I think the first guy we started talking about regularly might have been King Cobra. I think we talked about him on the very first episode of Who Are These Socials, if I'm not mistaken, or definitely early on. And I was very sad to see the news this week that the great King Cobra is no longer with us. I said, if you watch those, particularly more recently and when he was going through the stuff with his girlfriend, I did say this, and it's weird to watch videos of King Cobra and think of this. It speaks more to the mania of the rest of the people we deal with. But like I've always said that Josh Saunders is his real name. Mm-hmm. Josh always had like the best attitude of any of these guys, you know. And it might be because he's a little off. I'm not going to wax poetic and pretend he was some heroic great guy. He was a nut, like a lot of these people we cover on the internet. But I was very sad to hear that. He's my age. I think he was 34. His father found him passed out. He was supposed to bring him to the doctor. I don't know if he's been dealing with. I mean, I imagine he's been dealing with health issues, but I don't know if there was anything in particular that would have caused his doctor's visit. But this was also very sad. I guess this was deleted. Do we know where it was posted originally? Was it on King Cobra's channel or his dad's Facebook?
I believe it was on his channel because he had come to social media to scrub his son's social media, started seeing the outpouring of like love and support, and decided, well, I can't do that because
yeah. So
so then use his page. Yeah,
we'll hear from his dad. In a very emotional state. This is probably smart that he deleted it, but it lives on with us. Fuck you, pal. We're not going to completely change today. But like, it is like you forget most people that don't deal with this stuff all the time. It's probably a somewhat normal reaction to just pour your feelings out, and then you're like, oh fuck, this lasts forever, and it's to strangers. But like, I think this is a moment we can all empathize with. Cobra's dad. I don't know how much of a character he was. I've heard him mentioned and seen like very brief clips of him in videos. I don't know how much of a character he was in the early Cobra days. But this is him talking about his son.
He has a harp behind him, Mike. Just for reference, just what kind of man he is. He has an eagle and a harp, like a real harp. You could play it.
Josh is playing that up in the sky right now.
He is.
Yes. Hello, I'm Josh's dad, and there's a lot of rumors going around, so I wanted to make a video for Josh. I went to Josh's house yesterday to take him to the doctor, and when I got there, he was sleeping. I tried to wake him up. He was not responsive or breathing. I realized that his lips were blue, and I tried to revive him. But he was already dead.
It is a little weird if we're going to keep the spirit of the regular show. It is a little weird to turn to the internet this quickly, like the day of. But I guess you see a lot of the reaction. Like his son is a celebrity in a weird way. Like the only way I was following this is because people kept messaging me like, "Hey, I think King Cobra died." And with a guy with a figure like that, your first assumption is like, "Oh, it's a troll, like someone's fucking around." So the only way I really knew and got updates was following along on Twitter. So I'm sure it is a unique feeling, especially I don't know how well his dad was aware of what his son's internet presence was. So it does have to be a weird thing when like there's strangers being like, is Josh okay? I did see one video, and again, I don't know if this guy's trolling or what, but I saw one video that someone put out where they contacted the hospital, and that person was like, oh yeah, we've been getting calls about Josh Saunders all day. So that does have to be a little weird as a father to be going through not just the loss of your son, but then all these strangers reaching out, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
I could barely handle it, and when it was just me, myself, and I had all my own thoughts and all the time in the world, I could not imagine people like texting you and mocking you, and this guy,
right.
I understand today to delete all of his social media because fuck you is how I'm feeling. But I realized that would not be fair. to his fans, and it's certainly nothing he would want.
It's a weird thing. I felt very bad. Obviously, you feel bad watching this. The guy lost his son, but it's also like it makes you start to question. This is the thing I talked a lot about. We did an episode of Why You Laughing about Windy City Heat, and we talked about Perry Caravello, and I sort of compared him to like a whack packer, like you guys do with Eric the actor all the time, where you talk about this guy who's getting bullied, for lack of a better word. Like people are pointing and laughing at him on the internet, but it's also, I think, like King Cobra was a celebrity in a weird way, and like I said, he handled it better than a lot of fully functional people. Like, I don't know exactly. I know he referenced having Asperger's or autism. I don't know to what degree or anything, but like he handled trolling a lot better than Aaron Imholt or Stuttering John. These people with supposedly full capacity. So like, I don't know. It's a weird like inner conflict where you're like, some people of course are assholes and don't handle it right. But I think for the most part, like you look at what Stern did for Eric the actor, where he was bullying him, I guess. Like they had him on and insulted him nonstop all the time. But like Howard Stern also put Eric in television shows and like gave him a life. Now, King Cobra didn't have those highs, obviously, but like people were sending him money and food and booze, and like the cops would come and check on him when his girlfriend was freaking out. There's a double-edged sword to that. There's also people fucking with you, and it can make your life miserable. So it's a weird thing to try and figure out, because I think people's instinct when they hear Josh's dad be like, I didn't want to do that to his fans. Their instinct is to kind of laugh at that, maybe. But as I always say, even with the guys I don't like Aaron or Stuttering John, I am a fan of theirs at the end of the day. Like, I would be sad if they stopped making content. So I am, like, in that way, a fan and following along with them. And it's even more different for a guy like King Cobra, who I don't have any, like, there's no reason to dislike him. He seems like a likable enough guy. He's not as arrogant or mean-spirited as some of the other people we talk about. So it's a weird thing. You have moments like this when we lose a guy like King Cobra, where you're like, are we being dicks? Like, are people on the internet going too far with this stuff? But then it's like, and maybe this is just rationalization, but you're like, it gave him a life in a weird way. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what to do with all that information.
Well, you're right with the give him a life thing. Like, Eric lived for the credit and the name that he got from the Stern Show. It literally, like, his parents didn't understand it at the time, and his mom has come out since and said, I didn't understand it, but looking back on it years later, this kid loved that shit. Loved it. Like, and so I think you have to, and this dude could have just been weird in wherever he lived and not pressed go live, and no one would have known him, right? And so,
right. Is his life better or worse if he was just, filling grocery bags and living in a trailer in Wyoming? Like, is his life significantly better or worse? And I think that's something I don't really know the answer to, but I think better, because he felt like a star. Like, for as delusional as it might have been or whatever, he felt cool for the times he went live. He felt like a rock star. So like, is that a bad thing? I don't really know.
If you're gonna make a counter argument to that, you could say, well, because he got doxxed, he got sent like alcohol all the time, and so if alcohol played any part in his death, then you could say, well, maybe going live kind of contributed to that, because fifth of vodka showing up every day.
Yeah, but that's also like, and some of those people doing that stuff, particularly the people that like would send the cops to his house or whatever, a lot of those people are assholes. Like, they're crossing a line very clearly. To me, the line has always been very clear with that stuff, and there are people who just simply cross it and don't mind doing that. And those are the people I look down on, and I think most people, the vast majority of people, understand what all of it is and behave appropriately, and it's ball busting and whatever. And that is the thing Howard would say with Eric the Midget all the time, is like, I'm treating him like I would anyone else. And I think that's King Cobra's a good example of that, because you look at someone who, like I said, like Aaron, who has all of his facilities, his faculties, whatever the fucking phrase is, like, people are worse to Aaron than they are to King Cobra. So I don't think it's some over the line bullying. And like you kind of have to treat people like adult. Like if he's a functional adult that's able to live on his own, it's hard for me to be like, hey, you're doing something wrong by sending him booze or whatever, because like that's more about the people in his life, I would think.
You all know Josh was harassed and bullied terribly his whole life. I mean, from the time he was 3, it was just nonstop. It's like he had a neon sign that said, "Please pick on me." And for some reason, so many people on this earth felt that picking on him was okay. That just because it's him, it made it all right. And that he didn't matter. But he did matter. And I want to thank all of his fans. Because you made him feel like he mattered. And,
see, that's where it's at, right. Even in that sentence, because I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if his dad knows the full scope of everything. If he knows the delineation, the fans are very similar to the bullies in this case. Mm-hmm. So it's I don't know if he is fully aware of all that. But right there, you hear the weird conflict where it's like this kid was bullied in real life and felt like an outcast and everything. And he felt like he had fans in this internet circle. Some of those people were also fucking with it. You know what I mean? It's a weird dynamic to wrap your head around. And I don't really like the idea of, I'm sure it's easy. Like, I'm sure if you go on Reddit or whatever, people are just like laughing at this guy and like, haha, fuck you. But like, to me, it is a thing that I think about a lot with people. It's like, oh, are we crossing the line with this person or that person? And I just think it's interesting to reflect when we lose a guy like King Cobra. It's interesting to look back and be like, did we go too far with him? Was it a good thing for him? Was it a bad thing for him? I just think it's an interesting discussion in general.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that, you guys made jokes but we're fans in a way. But a lot of people were sending him cat food and making him eat it. Those are the people that were crossing the line,
right. Right. And to me, that's so cool. Even just hearing you say
one time, Electra, I sent cat food one time.
Even just hearing you say that, it's so clear to me, like the people that are fucking retards. Like with John, where it's like, it's always been clear to me, the people that just like make some dumb joke about him being a drunk in the chat versus people that would actually call comedy club, if that exists. John says it does. I don't know that it does. But like if there are people actually calling and, well, I think like didn't Phil Elmore do that or something? Like write a letter and try and get a gig canceled. And
he's
it's
a
like,
writer, so he wrote.
It's like, well, what is this? We're trying to affect his real life, and that's also to the detriment of us trying to talk about him and have a good time. Mm-hmm. So I never really understood. To me, that line seems very clear. Yeah. But maybe to others it isn't. Maybe his dad would look at the clips from Who Are These Socials and be like, this contributed to his mental anguish or something. I don't know. I've always been curious about that.
It made him feel very special. And he lived for you guys every day.
See, we did a good thing.
Josh struggled a lot with depression and was extremely suicidal most of his life. And you guys helped more than you could ever know. Because you made him feel like a person. I can never repay you for that.
Well, this turned around. I don't know if I watched the whole thing before. Hey, you know what, buddy? You're welcome. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Me and Carl, it's fine. We do this sort of stuff we don't even take accolades for. We do it all the time,
Yeah. Feel free to gift some memberships. You know what I'm saying, Dad?
Pay it forward, buddy. You're welcome.
Supporting him, for encouraging him, for all the gifts you sent. For the people who helped him produce his music and his wands, thank you so much.
Like Electra said, some of it was cat
Josh
shit,
was extremely stubborn and
calories are calories.
Wouldn't let me help him with anything. Because he had to do it on his own, and I get that, and I respect that. Those of you who know Josh, you know how kind he was. Anybody who came to visit him in person can testify that he was such a beautiful, beautiful soul. He would help
I'd like to
anybody.
intersplice this with a clip of him screaming at Jessica or something.
Invite anybody in to have a beer. He would treat everybody like they were a family. And he was kind, and he was especially kind with elderly people and animals and all of insects. God, we weren't even allowed to kill insects. We had to save them.
How much time is left?
He was just a
We got 2 minutes left, Mike.
All right, we get the idea.
Pour one out, people, for our
right.
boy.
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace, King Cobra. We'll miss you, buddy. The first ever, I do believe the first ever recurring subject on Who Are These Socials. Sad to see him go. And like I said, one of my favorites in terms of guys that took it well as I think he was capable of. So I'm sure we'll do. I haven't watched his last live stream or anything. Maybe we'll have some clips of that on Thursday. Me and Carl. I'm sure we'll do something to pay tribute to a great man. Rest in peace, King Cobra. We'll miss you, buddy. And go buy a wand or something. I don't know how you can support.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Kragers did it.